Hey you, it's me. And maybe I am becoming a Gypsy Rose Blanchard slash Anderson slash Uger channel. I don't know. I just I just find these things that keep happening. It's so fascinating. And when you are dealing with Amber, who cares? I'm so bored of her. And you're dealing with Foodie. God, I'm so sick of Foodie. I don't care. I don't care what she's doing, how much weight she's gained or lost. I'm so bored of both of them. They're just not interesting. I still like the ankle and looking back, through Crystal Era. We'll be going into Destiny Era soon. I like the going back to the forward, but the current is so boring. It's just a snooze fest, Obviously, Amber is ill. Obviously, she's unhappy. Who knows what'll happen next? Maybe she'll fix it. Maybe she won't. Who knows? And at this point, God, I don't even want to watch the wreck. I don't. I'm so bored. But Gypsy, on the other hand, I find it so fascinating that here we see on the left is the DNA test she claims that proves that Ken is the father. But what we see on the right is what an actual sample of a real test looks like. Do you notice how these two are very different? You don't even have to look at the whole thing. All you have to look at is at the top, and the formatting completely different. Gypsy lied. She faked this so that people would get off her back. But why? I don't think people care. I mean, there has been a lot about, is it Ken, is it Ryan? The baby's due in January. They can do a test then. They can see then who the father is. Why she would even attempt or pretend that she took a DNA test is just stupid. And I think Ken is starting to see this. I don't know. I'm not in his head. But I think that all these, there's so many YouTubers. There's Aerolink, there's Spillin' Tea with Angel Baby, there's Case, there's Alleged, there's Hollywood something. I don't know. There's a lot of them. And I've been looking at all the different ones, trying to piece it together to find out, who's saying what. And not only was this, it looks allegedly that it's obviously faked. Okay? And if this is any kind of real test, because they said this could be a home pregnancy test. I'm not sure how that works, but apparently it can. But it's not submissible in court because it has a lot of error to it. So this doesn't matter. What she's going to have to do once the baby is born, get a paternity test done. My understanding is that they could be holding off the divorce until after the baby's born so they can prove paternity and then get a divorce. Something to do with how divorces work in that area. So I'm not fully aware of that, but because she claimed that she was going to have a divorce done in October or at the end of October, but it's still not over. So that could be the reason for the delay. But she's been caught in so many lies, so many manipulations. This is just one of many things. And in fact, there is a 800 number on the one that she put up. Somebody actually called that 800 number, and it's a scam number for Medicaid or something for older people like myself. It's not even connected to any kind of DNA stuff. So it's all a lie. It's crazy. Did she not think that somebody would check it out? Because this is the internet. The internet, people sleuth. When people see something that could be suspicious, some people look deep. They do deep dives. And I find it fascinating, quite frankly. But yeah, the number isn't a real number for the DDC. The formatting of the sample and of what she was showing are not the same, not even close. And there's another really interesting thing that a couple YouTubers have brought up, and this is all alleged. I am not saying this is for sure. This is all suspect. It's all curiosity. It's all speculation. Some people have speculated because Nicholas, the person who's in jail for life, who has been on the government disability, was put on that for his entire life because of his difficulty with his mental abilities. It's interesting that some people were going over the fact that he mentioned that he stabbed Dee Dee 4 times. But there are 17 wounds. And he has stayed firm on this 4 times. And if, maybe it was 5 or 6 or 2 or 3, be understandable. 4 is close enough. But 17. And what some people are speculating is allegedly Gypsy might have done 13 of those before he even arrived. And there is some evidence allegedly showing this, that she attacked her mother, who is apparently very ill at the time, from behind 13 times, and then laid her there to bleed, and then had him come in, where she could have allegedly, quite possibly, had already passed before he got there. One of the things they have said allegedly supports this is that the wounds behind her are a different color of red than the 4 wounds in front of her. And in the 4 wounds in the front, it has been alleged that the color, I'm not sure they said it was darker, but it was a different color, showing that she might have already passed before he did anything to her. This is interesting. And because of his mental difficulties, he was just following orders. Gypsy told him to do this, to do that. And that's what he did. I don't know that he would have known any differently, whether she had passed or not. But this alleged story seems possible. The fact that a lot of these so-called surgeries that were not necessary, well, for her issue she was born with, it's like a lack of chromosome. The surgeries that were done were for that, including weak muscles, which would explain the wheelchair, and God, just a plethora of things. And I just, it bothers me more and more, because it's like she got away with it in a lot of ways. 7, 8 years in prison for masterminding and possibly doing away with her mother and setting up someone else, Nicholas, to take the fall. I'm finding that to be more and more possible. And let me just say from the beginning, I thought she was a sweet, innocent child who'd been brutalized and abused and neglected and just, just went through the ringer. But I'm starting to think, with these speculations and alleged support for these speculations, that she's not a good person. We have seen in interviews and things how she manipulates the stories, how she doesn't call herself a murderer because she didn't actually do the crime. I think that allegedly, my speculation is that she did. And because of her baby bird fallacy, sweet, innocent, young girl who was so desperate to get free of a mother who was incredibly ill and who she could have easily left. Apparently, she was taking care of her mother because she was that sick. Allegedly. And allegedly stated that she just can't wait. She wanted it done now. Allegedly. Through text with Nicholas. There's a lot of stuff to consider here. There's so many things. But the fact that she would go in front of the world and lie about a paternity test, allegedly, I mean, obviously, she doesn't care. She doesn't have that little thing inside of her that tells her that's not a good thing to do. She doesn't have that. There's no conscience. And it's disturbing because she's having a child. Allegedly. At this point, I don't even know if that's true. I can see now why so many YouTubers are speculating that she's not even pregnant. It's all fake. I see why now they said that. Because pretty much everything she says is a lie. It proven time and time again. It's just awful. It's just awful that she's out free where Nicholas isn't. Although, let me just say, I don't know that he should be free either. I think, again, maybe in an institution, because he's very too easily manipulated. He would do anything someone tells them to do. If he cares for that someone, obviously, like he did for Gypsy. But Gypsy, I don't know how she's getting away with so much stuff. I've never met anyone who is out on parole who could, travel all over the United States. I mean, obviously she got permission, I would think so, or she'd be in prison again. But they've given her so much leeway. And I think it's because, she had such a tragic upbringing. It was so bad and horrible, and we can all really understand her desperation. But the things that are coming to light the alleged things that are coming into light and the speculation around them from much smarter people than myself. Because honestly, I didn't pick up on a lot of things that other people were picking up on. I didn't even pick up on the manipulation right away that so many had so quickly. It's interesting, but people are turning on her because she's not fooling people anymore. People allegedly are now seeing her more for who she actually is, not who she pretends to be on TV. And she better be careful, is all I'm saying. Because she has been taking so many steps, allegedly, out of line. It's like she's testing to see how far she can go with things, allegedly. And I find it so concerning. But if she keeps doing that, she's going to land right back in the slammer. But I'll tell you honestly, I wouldn't mind if she did. Because I think they let her out way too soon. She did so much. Just more and more, you can see how she allegedly masterminded so much of this. And could have quite possibly set up Nicholas, allegedly. Set him up to take the fall. And that's disturbing right there. That's really disturbing. And she's going to have a baby, allegedly. Anyway, I know that I don't have a lot of proof, evidence, etc. I am not a great YouTuber. There are a lot of better YouTubers out there. But I just wanted to bring this into focus. I find it so interesting. You know, the more things that are coming out, the more things that were or were not said in the court. I mean, it was the lawyer who brought up the whole Munchausen by proxy. Now, I will say that Gypsy's mother was a thief and a scammer, for sure. For sure. I'm not saying that she's a good woman. But Gypsy is too, allegedly. Not even allegedly. And Gypsy, I would say, is a lot worse, allegedly, if any of these allegations are true. We don't know. I will not give any definitive yes or no because I don't know. I'm hearing this all, secondhand from a couple handfuls of YouTubers who are all show a lot better evidence than I do. The only evidence I can see is this paperwork that she allegedly took with Ken to prove he's the father, and it's just not holding water. And wow. I mean, it's just wow. It's like, how much further is she going to go? And is this lying about paternity? Can that be a parole violation? I'm so curious to find out what happens. I just hope that the baby is okay. That's my hope. And that there's family around who can take care of that child if need be. Because, I don't know that Gypsy is going to be the best mother. Maybe she will be. Who knows? But she's certainly not the best person, allegedly. Anyway, that's all I got to say.